Sam, can you hear that?
Huh? What? Hear what?
There's a mosquito. I hear a mosquito.
Oh, just go to sleep. I'm tired.
Sam, I can't sleep. I can't sleep if there's a mosquito in here.
Oh.
Sam, I can't sleep if there's a mosquito.
Okay, I've got it. Hang on, hold on. I've got the racket. Where is it?
Alright. There it is. There.
I got it.
No, you didn't. It's right there, Sam. Right there.
Oh.
You're gonna have to get up. Sam, you know I can't sleep if there's a mosquito.
Alright,
in the room.
okay.
I'm going to show you how to make screens for your port windows. To replace our port window screens, the ones that actually fit in the port windows, it costs around $85 each. And we have quite a few windows. So I was interested in finding another technique, something a lot cheaper. So what I've come up with works well. It keeps the no-see-ums out, it keeps the mosquitoes out, and it lets the air run through. Okay, what you'll need is some paper towel or paper to make a template, scissors, a ruler, a Sharpie or a pen to write with, some glue. This is the main ingredient, these foam sheets. You could get these in craft stores like Michael's in America, hobby stores, anywhere where there's crafts sold. It's a very thin kind of foam. You don't want the thick foam, you want it quite thin so you can move it. What we're going to be doing is doubling this up. You're also going to need some screen. Okay, so once you get the template here, I then match it up as best as I can. And I mean, just looking at it, I'll need to trim off a little from the bottom. But the goal is to get in between here, there's a little gap inside there. So I want to make it so that it's a little bit oversized from this inner ring here. That's the goal. So what I do is I keep trimming it down until I get it to a point where I can pop it in here. And it looks like a pretty good fit. You can always reduce, so you can always cut it down. Even the finished screen that I'm going to show you how to make, you can even cut that down. So the goal with making the template is just to get it to a point where it's close enough. And you don't want it, definitely don't want it too small. You want to err on the bigger side. Sorry, earlier I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at the camera on the wrong side, so I apologize. Now I'm looking at you. Once I get my first kind of cut out, I test it in the window just to see how it fits. And I bring my scissors with me so I can trim it up. And so what I do is I stick it in there and see how it's going to fit. Now this one here has a barrier up here, so it cannot go up in, and it has a barrier down here, so it can't really go low. So right now I can see that I need to, sorry, I can see I need to trim off the bottom a bit. But let's check the sides. Now the sides are a good length, they'll fit in there. So the sides are good. So while I'm here, I will just trim the edge until I get it to a point where it fits better. And you just want to take a little bit at a time, because if you take too much, you're going to have to start over again. So I don't want to take anything off the edges. So there. Now notice that's fitting in now. It's actually fitting in pretty well, and the edges are overlapping. So I'm going to just stick it in here, because this is what's going to keep it in if it gets windy, or I guess just if it gets windy. So now I have just pushed that in. It's fitting in the bottom, it's fitting in the top. I can't see out. So that's a really, really good fit. The key thing is to make part of it to stick in so that if the wind blows, you know, it's not going to fall out. You want it to be a bit snug. Okay, the next step is to duplicate this same piece, and then we're going to cut out the center, and we're going to put some screen in there. So let's do that next. this next bit, my mom, before I went sailing, gave me this sewing kit. This one little ruler has really come in handy, especially when I made the curtains and just a hem and stuff. It's really good. But what you need to do is essentially measure about, I would say, like a ½ inch up. You want to make it so that it's a ½ inch all the way around. And so you can just go like that. And then using a straight edge, you just want to connect the lines. Because you really want this to look nice. It's inside your windows, so just connect the lines. Makes it easier to cut it out. Okay, once you have a line there, what I do is I kind of fold it in half and do like a little snip where I need to cut, and that gives me my entry point to start cutting it out. So because I think maybe the insert I can maybe use for something else, so I don't want to just completely ruin it. If nothing else, it makes a nice big solid piece for my daughter to play with. And you just want to do the same thing on the other side. So use this as a template. You just want to make sure you match it up really well and hold it as you're using your marker to do an outline. And once again, we're going to cut it out. And then you just want to make sure that it matches up. So put it on top, make sure that the sides match up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to be gluing the screen in between here, so you want it to match as best as you can. The next thing you want to do is take a piece of screen. I managed to find like a roll of screen on Amazon for $6. This apparently doesn't allow no-see-ums in and or mosquitoes. Now, I have seen other boaters make screens and they used material that did not let air in. I have used this and it does let air in. I'll give you a link to the product I'm using here because I definitely would recommend this. It works really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay the screen on top of here. We're going to glue the foam, then we're going to glue the other side and just really push it down here and let it dry. Once it's dry, what you want to do is you just want to cut out along the screen. So when you're done, it should look like this. When it's glued and dried, it's time to test it out. Okay, and as you see, it's not quite fitting. It's too long on the sides, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit on both sides. And I'm ready to try it again. And there we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it in that first time. But there we go. It's all in. There we go. It's all in.